Hello, my name's Hayley Bates. I work for Little Scientists. We do professional development in STEM for early childhood professionals, but we're doing a few videos that you can use at home or you can use in your centre. Okay? And what we have here today is some materials for dyeing Easter eggs. So I've got my boiled eggs here. They're only lightly boiled. Okay, and what we're going to do is after we've dyed them, we're going to eat them for breakfast tomorrow. Okay, I've got turmeric. I've got an onion here, but actually I'm going to use the peel from the onion that I saved from the last time I cooked. I picked some parsley out of the garden. I've got some coffee. I tried using coffee grounds, but actually coffee gives me a much better result, so I'm going to use the coffee. And I've got some red cabbage that I actually used the red cabbage juice for as a universal indicator, which will be a different video. So if you are using red cabbage, save the juice because you can use it for something else at the end. And I'm going to show you how to use all these ingredients plus some elastic bands in order to make some beautiful dyed Easter eggs for Easter. I've done a little bit of prep work, as you can see. I've started chopping up the parsley. I've taken the skin off the onion, and I've got a little bit of purple cabbage here, and I've got my coffee ready. And I've got some almost boiling water, not boiling water, but I'm going to, just as a precaution, put a spoon in my glass in order to stop the glass from cracking. I don't think it will be a problem because the kettle is quite cold now, but I just want to be on the safe side. But I'm just going to put a couple of tablespoons of coffee into my first glass and top it up with hot water, just enough to cover my egg. Okay, and we're going to put our egg in that one, make sure it's all covered. We're going to put my parsley, chopping it up nice and small. Now, if you don't have parsley, I've got an awful lot of parsley in the garden, so I've been using parsley, but spinach works just as well. If you've got some spinach in the tail end of the bag. And look at that amazing colour green that's coming out of there. It's already, the green is also already coming out. Give it a bit of a stir. And we're going to put a couple of tablespoons of white wine vinegar in there as well. That helps to fix the dye. Now, what you can do is before you put your egg in, you can wrap some elastic bands around your egg in order to prevent the dye from getting into that particular bit of shell, and that will give you a lovely stripy pattern on your egg. You could also maybe try using a little bit of tape. So that's my parsley. If you're lucky enough to have a red onion at home, you can try that as well. That might give you a different result. And what we'll do is we'll leave these overnight and check in tomorrow to see what sort of colour we've got going on. Oh, there's a little bit of parsley's ended up in that one, but it will be okay. Now, obviously, if you're not intending on eating the eggs, and I think that would be a shame because it'd be interesting to see what happens, you might even want to boil the egg in this mixture. There we go. I've started doing the red cabbage. I always keep red cabbage in the freezer because if you put lemon juice or any other acidic substance in red cabbage juice, that you get a colour change. It goes red. In fact, I can show you that in a second. Okay, but we'll just, first of all, we'll make some red cabbage juice. And look, you can tell this is going to be a good dye because it's already dyed my chopping board. Okay, I'm going to add some hot water. Now, I know for a fact that if you boil red cabbage, it does produce this beautiful coloured liquid, as you can see. And the longer you boil it, the longer you steep it, the deeper and darker the colour. But we're just going to pour out enough juice so that you can see the colour. And then we're going to add a little bit of vinegar, and you can actually see the colour change. It's gone bright pink. So we're going to add an egg to our red cabbage. There we go. Okay, I've got some turmeric. So I'm going to use quite a lot of turmeric here. I don't really use this spice because I actually grow it in my garden. So I don't use the powder very often for cooking. So this has been in my cupboard for quite a long time. But I've put quite a lot in there, probably about 1 tablespoon. Now, anybody who has spilt curry on them knows that turmeric is quite a good dye. There we go. We're going to leave all of those overnight and see what colour those eggs turn in the morning. Now, you might want to stop the video and you might want to guess what colour the egg is going to come out as. There we are, that's my coffee one at the end there. Okay, and we're going to try and guess what colour the eggs are going to come out as. It's time for the big reveal. So these eggs have been sitting in natural dyes overnight. We've got the turmeric, the parsley, we've got onion, coffee, red cabbage, and actually at the last minute we tried red wine last night as well. So I have an ordinary egg here that we can compare it to. I have the turmeric egg here. That's come out quite well. We've got, this is the red cabbage. Now it's a little bit, I don't know whether you can see that, it's a little bit mottled, that one. I scraped it with a spoon as I was getting it out. We've got the coffee here. We have the red wine, which has worked surprisingly well. We've also got the parsley, which I was actually a bit disappointed with. And none of them, except for the turmeric, has really come out as I was expecting. I'm quite pleased with the turmeric, and I think I might use that one again in future. I have just ordinary ice blocks, and we melted some of the ice blocks. These are what, this is the results here of the ones that we got from the ice blocks. So the pink one was pretty spectacular. These ones haven't been left overnight. This has just been done in the last hour or two. So we would get much brighter results if we left them overnight. Now, if you notice, I did actually put elastic bands around this one, and I haven't taken them off yet, but ta-da! Oh, I think you have to be very careful when you take them off, but look at that. I don't think the blue and the green one came out quite so well. This was the cola flavoured one, and that one didn't work as well. Just very carefully. No, you see, have to be very careful when you take the elastic bands off. It might be a good idea to get someone to help you do this. So what you could do is you could, at home, you could try a few different methods. This was the this one was the orange Super Duper. This is my green Super Duper, and it's come out. Can you see that? It's come out really quite well. There we are. Now I actually snapped the elastic band on that one, and that the elastic band came off much better. It was much easier. And this is my blue one, and it's not come out particularly well. So I'm actually going to leave that for a couple more hours to see whether I can get it to come out brighter. Now, the other thing is, some of these eggs are boiled and some of them are actually still raw. And what I'm interested in is how, so the reason why this works is the shell of the egg is semi-permeable. And I'm interested to know how much of the dye has leached through. I really want to know whether my coffee egg and my wine egg are now coffee flavoured and wine flavoured. And I'll put that in the notes and let you know that. I'm not going to try them now. But I just thought what we would do, this is my brightest egg. So what I thought I would do, this one's been boiled, and I thought I would crack it and we'd actually see whether the dye has gone all the way through the shell into the white. But no, it hasn't. The dye hasn't come through and it's still white. So we'll be having that egg for lunch today. Well, thank you for joining us. Like I said, I'm sorry that our results weren't quite as good as we had hoped, but we didn't do too badly. So